Still on it.
Next email comes in from Ashley Illman in London, UK.
407 beers ago.
Hey, bomb crew. That's going to do it for you now.
Set it and forget it. Have you seen what this stuff does to kids?
Sorry.
No, that's okay. It's better stuff than anything I'm going to pull off these emails. So,
Biodigital jazz, man.
unless you
Eat my figurative hat.
unless
bitch.
you're willing to wear your food hat for a day. Next email comes in from Nate G, Canada, Toronto.
G'd up.
That was weak. I'm sorry.
頼る
We'll check in later.
$250 of
長崎県
suck. $250 of suck, baby. The best a man can get. People against goodness and normalcy. PAGAN. Pagan.
S to the P to the R to the ITE.
I'm only borrowing your Humvee.
Nate from Chicago.
You had me at hello.
You know what else we got coming out for Wii U?
What?
Duke Nukem Forever.
Oh, shit. Touch the screen to shake it, baby.
爆発
I hope that has an awfully long tail for you.
「削る」
I don't get hungry.
No, you don't.
No.
You just get aroused.
Yeah.
All right. Shall we go down the list?
Yes.
Twilight Princess HD.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, whatever.
That is the Zelda game that could most benefit from a big
Well, that's
HD
it.
reboot.
Are you
really?
fucking crazy?
Which one is it? Which one could most benefit from a
I would've-
nice coat of paint?
I would have said Wind Waker, which they did.
They did, and it was awesome.
Which they did. That was the
No, I'm saying like now.
like yes, they're closing the loop and doing the ones that didn't need it. Nice.
No, I'm saying
and the games that might not be worth revisiting.
Yeah,
Let's
also-
revisit those.
It's
Dude,
a
like,
good game.
Twilight Princess. Well, some might call it a great game, but not a game that we need to return to.
I will happily return to it and play it again.
The most distressing thing about the Twilight Princess announcements that they made here was that they're putting out a Wolf Link amiibo.
ちゃんと
Yes. And they're saying that the Wolf Link amiibo will work in the new Legend of Zelda. That some data will transfer.
Oh, no.
So the idea that like anything from Twilight Princess will exist outside of Twilight Princess,
Or specifically in the new one.
distressing.
Especially in the new one, which stands a good chance of being really cool.
Yeah, like the last thing they need to do is saddle it with the fucking crap from Twilight Princess.
I mean, it might just mean it unlocks like some
Yeah,
figurine.
yes,
for
hopefully,
the,
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it might be nothing.
It could be nothing.
Like most amiibo stuff, it might be nothing. But
right,
like the idea that that would be the one is like, oh no,
it's a good game. And then, wait, have they said if it's going to be? Can you play it with just like a controller, like a pro controller? I'd have to assume.
yeah.
so.
The footage appears to be GameCube like version. So remember how the Wii version was flipped
Yeah,
to account
the
for
left-hand,
how people
right-hand
hand
thing.
it. So
Yep.
this one is GameCube flipped.
Okay. Because I actually never played Twilight Princess with the GameCube controller. I only played
It was
the
a
Wii
better
one.
way to play
Oh,
the
I'm
game.
sure. Like I've always wanted to do that.
It was absolutely a better way to play the game.
In fact, I was going to do that on Dolphin.
The thing with Twilight Princess is that not that it's necessarily some fucking bad game.
Right.
It's that it is just another goddamn Zelda game, and its hooks are not good.
Yeah, I don't
Its
like the
hooks
wolf
are
stuff
not,
that
yeah,
much.
like
I wasn't
its
huge on the
hooks
wolf
are,
stuff.
are not fucking. Do not set it apart in a good way.
Like that's
they made a handful of those games at that point, like that since Ocarina. Like Twilight Princess was the moment where it was like, all right, guys, you got to come up with something else.
Well, don't forget. I mean, that's your 2015 retrospect talking. Like, don't forget at the time the hook was, hey, it's realistic Zelda.
No, it was
well,
returned.
yeah, right.
No,
And,
it was returned to form because everyone loved old Zelda and then Ocarina. And after Ocarina, you have Majora, which is fucking weird in an awesome way. And then you had Wind Waker, which was super weird in an awesome way.
There's nothing
and then,
weird about fucking Wind Waker. Wind Waker's a fucking awesome game.
I 100% agree. I love it. It's
the
one of my
idea that
favorites.
the idea that anyone like says that game's like fucking
I mean, you're sailing. It's on little islands and
totally,
stuff.
Totally. Like the Twilight Princess Return to Form thing is fucking bullshit.
I fucking
'Cause
completely agree.
Anyone that looked at Wind Waker, when it got announced, but then doubly so after it came out and you got to play it.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, this fucking kid Zelda. Fuck that.
People calling it Zelda.
Those people can.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
I
That
worked-
is
Like those are the same.
bullshit.
Those are the same people that were like shedding tears at the Twilight Princess
Yes,
announcement.
exactly.
Yeah, fuck that.
Trust me, I worked at a GameStop retail location when they showed Wind Waker, and the amount of know-it-all customers that came in and talked about how it was going to be the worst game ever. Trust me, I hate that type of argument.
my
as
God.
much as anyone.
Well, those
And
are
I loved Wind Waker.
those are the people-
I'm not accusing you of being that, but like there's nothing fucking weird about Wind Waker.
I'm saying
if they took it in an
gameplay-wise.
awesome new direction, gameplay-wise.
100%. But it's not the traditional, like, people wanted more like Ocarina. Like, oh, here's this big field, and you're riding a horse in a castle, like,
They just
resembling
gave you a big
Ocarina.
water field,
I'm
man.
with you.
It's badass.
I love it. I am just speaking on behalf
Yeah.
of these people. Like, I understand.
They don't deserve a voice.
There's nothing, dude. I don't think there's anything.
Do not speak on their behalf because they are bullshit.
I get it. I like the idea because Ocarina is very much looked at as like, some people think it's the best one ever.
I completely.
yeah,
I
probably.
disagree that the Twilight Princess is even calling back to Ocarina. What it's calling back to is that fucking Shoshinkai tech demo they put out of the GameCube.
The Space World one,
Because-
where Link is fighting Ganon.
all of the ire about Wind Waker came from people seeing that tech demo and then getting super angry that they didn't just then go and make that game.
The Space World demo. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So like that's why Twilight Princess exists or was made.
But
to
it's still
fulfill
good.
those expectations.
It's good. It's super boring.
Yeah, it's not.
It is super boring.
I'm with you. It's not even a top 5 Zelda game for me.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like a 50, 60-hour game. It's a huge game with some really cool dungeons and stuff. Yeah, it's good. And name one that you'd rather see getting the big re-release.
They already
treatment
did
of.
it. Like I
That's
don't.
what I'm saying.
I don't
That's-
want them to do any more.
Okay.
Of it. Like
But it's
they
the
should
best
be doing
candidate.
something else.
It's the best candidate if they're doing another.
Tantalus is doing this port. They could be making another fucking Funky Barn instead of wasting their time with this bullshit.
Enough said, man.
I can't argue that.
Exactly.
There's nowhere else to go on that one.
You know, like there's nothing wrong with Twilight Princess in a vacuum. It's just like in the cavalcade of Zelda games that came, like that was the one where you're like, all right, the hook in this one is kind of lame.
Right.
The new stuff, the new world stuff they did, building these characters, like the new characters were kind of lame. It was the series at its most wheel spinningest.
I think, though, that there are a lot of people like me that maybe have not played Twilight Princess since it first came out and are kind of curious, like, okay, now that we're separated from the big, hullabaloo of the Wii launching and everything and these motion controls and stuff, I wonder how it holds up. I wonder how it's aged. Because, like, earlier this year, I was looking to, like, kind of restart that on Dolphin. And so there are plenty of people that I think want to go back and see how it holds up. And people are going to be excited that they can do it in this form, looking better, playing better. Because, I mean, graphically, like, it's kind of muddy. Like, you go back to the GameCube or Wii one, it doesn't look great. I am very excited to be able to play it again in this fashion as someone who wants to see how it's held up.
I will give it a shot just to see if I was wrong or not because I was not a fan either.
望む
That was a great game.
Twilight Princess?
If you had to break it out into graphics, sound, gameplay, value, and reviewers tell.
Yep.
You can because you look at the graphics of the era, it looked great. It was an awesome looking game.
Yeah.
It sounded fine. It sounded like a Legend of Zelda game. Played like a Legend of Zelda game.
Plenty of value there.
It's a long game.
Yeah.
But at some point, you're like, you know what?
By the standards of 2006.
By the standards of 2006, by the review standards, the review processes of 2006, it could only score so low.
Did you review it?
Yeah.
What did they get?
8.8 on Wii
right.
and an 8.9
Right.
on GameCube.
August
But
video
was that
game
one,
reviewing
yeah.
institutions determined through their time-tested process that it was a great game.
that's definitely one of those games that like the GameSpot reviewing system of its era got that game a lot of its points because breaking it out into those component scores, like you can't fault the graphics, like you can't fault the components of it,
Tilt only goes so far.
It's all on paper that you just go like, nope. So
And back then it still wasn't average? the score?
It wasn't just an average, but there was a formula.
There was a formula to it.
Oh, okay.
We didn't determine the final scores for reviews.
We had a spreadsheet.
There was literally a spreadsheet of 5. It was 5 categories. It was not even a straight average of those. It was weighted.
Okay.
So gameplay mattered most.
Okay.
So
That's good.
Which makes sense.
But back when they were getting like emblems and stuff.
I came up with the emblem stuff
that was later.
The fact to try to kind of counteract some of what scores were doing.
Right.
So that was the pivot, is like after reviews like that, where it was like just kind of ridiculous that like this game that like I had feelings about that did not necessarily like manifest in the review score. I was like, you know what, I as the reviewer should be able to say, here's what this game is scored.
Right.
And a lot of other problems the GameSpot review scale had at the time. So, we worked to revamp it.
That scale went all the way back to 96, right?
Yeah, it did. Yeah. And it made a lot of sense then. But as more and more games got, scored on that scale, you started to see that everything somehow got an 8.6. They're just no matter what, the math always seemed to work out to 8.6.
I want to look up. For some reason, Shadow of the Colossus comes to mind because I reviewed that, and I want to say that got an 8.6.
I feel like that's what the first Splinter Cell might have gotten.
Yeah.
But it's just for some reason there was a lot of just like big budget games that would have certain amounts of like
just like production value
that like you couldn't deny. You go like, well, the graphics need to be an 8 or higher because it's a great looking game, but like so just the way the math would often work out.
So if I reviewed Star Wars Battlefront back then, it would have gotten 8.6.
I could totally see that.
Yeah.
But like if I was rating on today's scale, like Twilight Princess is totally the definition of a 3-star game. Wow.
Yeah.
It's absolutely like you just look at it and go like, this is the most middle of the road fucking thing that they could have
abandoned everything you thought you knew about scores on video games.
I think I gave it a 9.9.
That's pretty high.
That's really high.
There are very few scores that go higher than a 9.9.
I think that's the highest I ever gave. Yeah.
Yeah, that game is like, it's okay. Like you come away from it going like, well, they made another Legend of Zelda game and I guess that's cool, but man, they have made some of these in this format that have been far better.
Yeah. Again, not even top 5 Zelda for me.
Totally. So, that's totally one of those things where you're just like, there's no...
Or even if this was the same game, the fact that they'd already made like X number of them before immediately diminishes this one because...
Totally, yeah.
Making the same game over and over only gets you so far,
and it was one of the, like, people got so hung up on the language of that review. Like, things that were just, like, not meant to... be like, and this is always, anyone reads a review, they pick out their little fucking thing that they want to harp on and get all weird about. When you just include it as just like almost an aside, like somewhere in that review is me saying like, oh, maybe they could have added voice acting.
Oh.
Like it's not meant to be like, this game must have voice acting or it is terrible, which is how people took it.
Right.
But it's just like, hey, they could move forward. A lot of games have voice acting these days. Like, wouldn't it be neat to see what they could do there?
Like, there's not necessarily...
That's a travesty. How dare you? It's just like, fuck you, whatever. Fucking idiots.
Especially like when the entire basis of your argument is because that's how they do it,
Yeah,
like,
exactly. That's how it's always been, so it must always be that way.
There's no qualitative argument for
those
why...
are the same people that are like going like, how dare you say that Fallout is a 3 out of 5 game because it's this majestic achievement. Like, no, fucking whatever, man.
Yeah.
They made a lot of those games. You'd think they'd make them better by now.
Yeah.
It's tragic.
Video games.
.com. That this has not changed.
Yep.
Ever.
I agree.
That it has always been like this.
Yeah.
And it will always be like this.
Always will be. That came up with the Tomb Raider review a little bit. People were saying, like, oh, you're saying explicitly this is a better game than the last one. Why did it get the same score? But, like, expectations are higher for sequels.
Time has fucking changed. No, times have passed, man.
Yeah.
The presence of the original Tomb Raider makes Rise of the Tomb Raider inherently less impressive.
Right. So if they hadn't stepped it up, if they had made exactly an equivalent game, it would have probably gotten a lower score.
Yeah.
Like, that's just kind of the way it works.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, people never understood, and probably never will, is that whole thing of like, oh, well, you're saying that this game's better than this game.
Yeah.
Like, well, no, not really, because that was a different time and standards were a little different at that point. So, naturally, there's, you can't just give every game a higher score every year, because then you end up with scores that are like, oh, we gave this a 92.6.
Yeah.
It's like, what if Tony Hawk 4 was better than Tony Hawk 3?
Yeah.
Then it would have been able to maybe maintain its 10, but it wasn't. So, that wasn't really an issue. But, there were a lot of situations like that.
Yep. Yeah, I remember having to review Super Street Fighter 4 for Game Informer, and it's a better game than Street Fighter.
Game, but who cares?
Yeah, and like Street Fighter 4 got a 9.5, and I played it, and it's like, I like this better, but that impact isn't there anymore. So I gave it like a 9, and then everyone's like, "You're saying it's better than Street Fighter 4, but then you gave 0.5
It's like
less.
this isn't that hard to understand. Like,
I scored Ultra actually lower than the original like Street Fighter 4,
Oh,
just
right.
because of expectations. It's still a great game,
But objectively, it's
like,
better. Right?
Yeah, totally. Like it's the best iteration of that game. However, like it was a.
You would think that people would
Small
like
jump forward.
understand that, but I think what happens is like there are always new people entering the world of video games, and so it's always their first fucking holiday season or something.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's always their first year of reading reviews.
Yep.
So those people will always just be there to kind of make the exact same complaint over and over again.
Yeah, there's always going to be a new crop of
until
people
we're
who-
dead.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
It's the eternal December on the internet.
Yeah, totally.
That's exactly
Yes.
what it is.
Yes, AOL got access to Usenet and ruined everything.
Yep. All right.
And then they started reading video game reviews, and it's been downhill ever since.
Jesus Christ. Oh, man.
Nintendo news.
Now that I'm feeling all old and crusty, let's move through the rest of this stuff. Hi.
I really spend much time with it on the PC. I've seen a bunch of it on 360, and it looks gorgeous on there. So it's one of those like, hey, I kind of just want to try playing with a racing wheel, but I don't want to buy one. I need to borrow it from somebody because I just want to see what that's like.
Just to make Dave bring his in and we'll do it for the live show or something.
Don't buy a racing wheel.
Yeah.
I really want to buy a racing wheel.
Don't buy a racing wheel.
I really want to buy.
Don't buy a fucking racing
What are you
wheel.
gonna bolt it to?
Don't buy a racing wheel.
I think I'll buy a racing chair.
Don't buy a racing chair.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Buy the big metal frame.
Don't buy a racing wheel.
Why don't you get a D-box seat while you're at it? It's 14 grand, something like that.
I would buy a D-box seat before I'd buy a racing wheel.
I like it as somebody who doesn't drive. Like I just like want to play around with the gear shift and all that stuff. And I could probably just buy a car for cheaper at that point.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just burn it out in a parking lot.
Don't buy a racing wheel.
Just let you, when I finally buy a new car,
It's just
coming any day now. I'll just let you borrow my old one. You go spin.
That was
spin
real
Brodies.
fun. I'll give you a couple of thousand here. This is real fun.
I'm with him. Don't buy a racing wheel.
Don't buy a racing wheel.
I think I was real close to buying a racing wheel, but
Don't buy a racing wheel.
Don't buy a racing wheel.
The thing is,
Don't buy a racing wheel.
The thing is, they're not.
How often do you even play racing games?
I was not enough to buy
Never.
a racing wheel. Well, then maybe they're more fun with a racing wheel.
Here's the other thing.
Hey, Vinny.
Yeah.
Don't buy a racing wheel.
Also, racing games, the whole notion that racing games are somehow more fun or more realistic with a steering wheel is a complete fallacy.
What?
It's a complete fallacy.
Because it's not like none of them behave like the steering wheels in actual cars.
Yeah,
at all.
It's just another contrivance. It's like it's.
You're trading one for one
That
of the
doesn't sound
slightly
safe
more
at all, then.
slightly more realistic, but
Yeah, you're not going to use that to learn how to drive well.
Say I can't learn to switch gears.
Don't
on
buy a
say
racing
let's go to the
wheel.
arcade. We'll play hard driving until you know how to drive a car.
I think. Well, here's the problem. They don't make them. You can't buy one for like the PS3, the 360, and the PC. You can only buy a PS3 and PC, or for the 360.
Yep.
I thought those Fanatec ones did.
No, they're still just like I heard
one or
that
the
too,
other.
and
Yeah.
I looked them up, and unless somebody has one, hey, I'll talk to Dave. Anyway, I don't own a racing wheel.
Don't buy a racing
You're never
wheel.
going to.
You're set then.
Yeah.
Buy Dirt 3.
Anybody see the things that like the 360 the Connect racing wheel? Did you see the ads for that go up?
No.
On, like
Is
Amazon.
there a physical wheel that you hold?
The picture is like an invisible wheel. It was selling for like $14.99. Maybe somebody mocked it up, but it was like I didn't click through the link to the Amazon page, but it looked awesome.
Wow.
And they can distribute that digitally.
That was actually just a link to the Rebecca Black Friday song.
Anyway,
Is that what we're calling it now? Black Friday.
song. Yeah, that's my Black Friday song. So no racing wheel. What were we even how do we even talk about that?
We're talking about new releases.
Oh, Dirt 3. That game would be awesome with a racing wheel.
What else is
Don't
out?
buy a racing wheel.
What else is out this week?
Daggerdale is out this
Okay,
week.
thank you.
Across the 360 and PS3 if it gets up.
I don't know. Store's still not up.
They don't even
Yeah,
send you
I don't
emails.
think Daggerdale's coming for PS3, even if the store's back up.
Oh,
I
that's
think
right.
They have a
surely-
backlog of other
surely
things.
they would not jump
I think
new
they've-
stuff
Yeah,
ahead.
I think they've kind of said,
Oh, we're
even
gonna
in
do
the
this in
Daggerdale
order.
stuff, they're like, this is going to go out at some point.
That game looked really interesting. I
I was going to get a knife controller, a dagger controller for that game.
That would be a reasonable purchase.
Yeah.
What?
Well, how many games does he play where he stabs dudes?
A lot. But
A lot.
But is it realistic? Would you really know how to stab a dude?
Don't buy a
Is it?
racing dagger.
Oh, but it vibrates.
But buy a dagger wheel.
Yeah.
Would you learn how to really use a dagger wheel with the dagger wheel controller? I kind of look
It's
up
not
that.
a matter of trying to
Use my
learn
chakram.
how to use a dagger. Yeah, it's not a lot of new stuff coming out right now, but
Hey, Dirt 3.
Or next week.
or next week.
Daggerdale.
The week after that,
Oh yeah, the week of
Death
E3.
Smiles that come out last week.
buy some games.
Death Smiles 2X.
That might be coming out.
Well, I bought it today, so it is out.
So something must have happened.
I didn't think that was a real game, so I didn't list it.
Yeah, no, that came out on the Games on Demand. It's crazy. They're selling the Japanese version of that game for $30 on Games on Demand, totally untranslated. Sort of like Sony has done with PS1 stuff.
Interesting.
Like the achievements are Japanese, like everything. It is not an English game, but they.
These
You know,
guys shoot
it's a
little
cool
bullets.
idea because, like, you know, if you were to buy that game and import it and have a Japanese 360 and all that crap, like, you'd be spending kind of a lot of money. But now you can just get it for only $30. Of course, you could start to make the argument that it's not worth $30 because it has about as much content as a $10 as like Trouble Witches Neo or something like that. It's a downloadable Japanese side-scrolling shooter.
Does this version of Death Smiles have yet another set of achievements separate from the Japanese achievements?
No, these are just the Japanese achievements.
Okay.
So
Now I can finally live the dream of having Japanese achievements.
Yes.
On a non-Japanese Xbox.
Right. And the only way you can tell what the difference between the girls that you're playing as is that it lists their names and their ages. The oldest one is 17. You can tell because their boobs are the biggest.
That doesn't mean anything.
Actually, the 14-year-olds are maybe a little bit bigger. It's a great fucking game. Maybe we'll do a quick look at that because it's so high quality.
We should do a quick look at that.
Yeah, we should do a quick look at that. Yeah, it's kind of.
That's a real picture.
Put that down.
This is
It's not invisible. It's just it's translucent.
I don't know. I think that's to show you that it's invisible.
No, it's
I think it's a shitty thing.
I don't even.
Maybe it's designed to try and keep your hands in the
Yeah,
correct
like if you're
position.
too stupid to keep your hands at virtual 10 and 2,
Yeah.
now you've got a plastic thing you can.
Saying I shouldn't buy this either. You guys are just fucking wet towels.
The wettest.
All right, let's take it to emails then. Bombcast action.
Enjoy your massage.
Done.
From Microforum.
Wait, I'm sorry. That's the name of a game.
Enjoy your massage.
Maybe
My massage from
Game-
Microforum.
games might be-
exclamation point.
I don't want a massage.
That's
from
the-
Your and
Microforum.
massage, lowercase.
See, I get more. Enjoy your massage.
Enjoy your massage.
Hey, Vinny, enjoy
yeah.
your massage.
Oh, thanks. From Microforum?
From Microforum.
I don't want to let Microform touch my back.
E10 plus mild.
I am not taking off my shirt in front of Microform.
You don't have to. It's
mild
cool.
suggestive themes.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
500 Wii points.
How
Okay.
much? If I give you 1,500, can we, get a happy ending or something?
Congratulations.
thank you.
You have just been hired as an apprentice masseur at Giselle's Beauty Farm. One of the most famous in the city.
Wait, it's the most famous beauty farm
In the city.
I
Okay.
just gotta get through college.
I didn't know that there were multiple beauty farms.
Rainbow Valley. New relaxing massage combinations and use them on your stressed customers.
Jeff does not sound like he sounds like he has just gotten his massage.
As an apprentice, you'll have to do your best. If your client gets angry, no one will save you from losing your job.
Bummer.
This is maybe a little too realistic a rendering of the rough and tumble world of the pro masseuse.
The beauty farm.
I'm sorry, masseur.
But if you prove capable, you might even become the director of the whole beauty farm. So what are you waiting for?
They call that the madam.
6 clients are waiting for your help.
I can't do that. I can't take 6 on at once.
You're not ready
I'm still
for
an
that?
apprentice, for God's sakes.
I mean, you've only got 2 hands.
Let me go one-on-one here for a bit before we get in some group work.
6 clients.
That's it for WiiWare.
Температура масла TF3.
They've had any sort of like.
Well, Bastion had the
Jukebox.
what do you call it? The photograph.
Yeah.
I think they should just record these straight recording sessions from the VO. Just put those up raw.
Yeah, like footage of guys in a
not even
VO
footage,
booth.
just
I would
like
love to see
a
that.
giant sound
What do you
file.
want me to do here?
Just say, damn.
Damn.
No, it's good.
Little,
it's
little,
good.
little
Just take it
throatier,
again.
little raspier.
Damn.
That was a little long. That was a little long.
Now you're incredulous.
Damn.
Let's
good.
just get like 5 or 6 takes in a row. Just freestyle,
Yeah, just
however you
go.
like it, whenever you're ready.
Damn. 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 Damn.
And then a lot of this. That's good, Jeff. Thanks. We're going straight to page 3, 176.
Okay, all right, yeah.
This is after you open the door and you find Lilith inside, and you say, damn.
Damn.
All right, great. Moving on.
Now we're going to jump back to page 5. This is after you've reloaded, but you realize you only have 1 bullet left. This is a damn.
Damn.
That's pretty good. Let's get 1 more.
Damn.
Were you ready? Were you rolling on that?
Oh yeah, we got that.
Okay, great. Thanks, Jeff. Let's just take a break and we'll leave this mics on, and we'll come back and just like have the whole sound file there the whole day.
Damn.
That's what I would want. Way better. I'd
Yeah.
play that in the
Yeah,
background.
that'd be way more interesting.
Just full uncut studio sessions.
And people freaking out.
Yeah.
I did it the first time. How many times?
I don't understand what it is that's bad about that. Like,
I know what she's saying. I know what she's telling me, but it's
doesn't it make more sense if the other character is the one that's saying "damn" in this scene? I feel like based on the progression so far.
You want an actor? You hired an actor. Do you want me to act, or you want me to just want to get a guy to read these? I know she's mad. I'm mad too.
How's this for just standard bonus feature in all games? It's just 40 minutes of Gary Busey reading lines from the game.
It's not even in the game.
At some point, it's like we got Gary Busey into the sound booth and gave him a bunch of just random lines from other characters and had him read. Didn't tell him what it was for.
Right.
Paid him for the 4 hours time.
That's your bonus. Just
like standard all games.
All games.
Yeah, like someone like fucking Twisted Pixel should just be like, and yeah, we didn't feature him in the game at all, but every one of our games comes with this 45-minute recording of Gary Busey
And then there's
reading lines from the game.
There's no dialogue in your game. I know.
We had to write all of this stuff for Gary Busey, this crazy shit to make Gary Busey say.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy.
We spent so much money on this. It was such a bad idea. I don't know why we did this.
I'll give you a flip kick, evil bicycle.
But it's so great.
We had to try so hard not to just be crying the entire time Gary was in the office. He called us amateurs.
Who covered my truck in mud?
It was awesome.
We gave him $15.
He was happy for it.
He's just. We didn't even pay him.
Get off me, Karate Man!
He said he was going to go buy some butterscotch discs down at the CVS with it. I don't know.
Check this out, Gary. Thanks, Gary. Half of it was Monopoly money.
He didn't notice. All right, I'm calling an end to this.
I want
this shit show here. That's it for emails. Thanks everyone who wrote in.
All the characters, so it's hard to say for sure. Yeah, I mean they're going for that kind of like Capcom versus game sort of level of craziness and
I always thought they used uncooked
combo-ness.
brownie mix.
Soft serve.
Got it. What's up?
What?
I don't know.
Go for some soft serve right now.
About ice cream at 1:30.
I've still never seen it. I've still never seen that.
Neither have I.
Really?
No, I've never seen it.
Me neither.
Really?
It's not so bad. I mean, this is way worse.
I've seen Lemon Party. I mean,
I haven't seen that either.
You've never seen Lemon Party?
No, whatever.
Lemon Party's just a
That's
picture,
tame.
right?
Lemon Party's old school.
There are no animals in that video at all.
That's true.
Mr. Han.
That girl looks so unhappy.
Seen the eel one?
I regret bringing this
remember
up.
the eel one?
Yeah.
Eel one?
I've seen the GIF of that.
I thought the vomit stuff was way worse. Than
It's all about
honestly.
It's into your own personal.
I guess anyone's going to have their own
Yeah.
own thing where they reach the limit. Chuck Yeager style test pilot, but for online porn videos.
No.
I think
That's where I black out. It
That's right.
turns out.
That's right.
That's the one where I go, oh, the eyes roll back.
Yeah, I think
And then I have to delete this entire directory.
I think
Tainted.
Tough Girl was about 8 Gs for me, and then I had to. That was it.
By the time that I'd already seen so much stuff that was way worse than that that was barely even a blip.
I went the other way. I didn't become tougher. I became more fragile.
Yeah, same
the more
here.
that I saw, I was like, I can't.
That's
I
good.
Just, I can't deal with it
that
anymore.
was where it became this test pilot like thing. Is I got tougher and tougher and tougher, and then once it broke bad.
Mm-hmm. You can't do it ever again.
Yeah. Now it's just like,
Never go
okay,
back.
I'm not going to keep these videos around to show to people when they ask me what the internet is.
Does anyone ever ask that?
Not anymore. So they
learn their lesson?
Yeah, they learn their lesson. And
When you go to Jeff's house, don't ask about the internet.
It didn't have anything to do with people becoming more familiar with the internet overall.
What's up with the internet? Oh, you need to see this.
They just know. Don't ask.
Anything happened on the internet
Don't
lately?
ask,
Wow.
Don't ask Jeff.
I got this
You
directory.
get CNN all the time and check this video out.
C:/internet.
You can do some banking, and I have these animated GIFs I want you to see.
Internet5.mpg.
You want to see something really fucked up?
Internet6.wmv.
No.
Internet7.asf.
The gross out stuff was one thing,
ASF.
but it was the extreme violence and malice that I couldn't handle at some point, like the Chechnyan soldier thing, and like there's some new
The beheading video.
That's stuff. I never. Yeah,
That's on a different
I never
level.
dealt in
there's
faces of death
there's some
style.
like drug cartel stuff floating around recently, and I was just like I can't even approach that
No,
stuff.
you don't.
Like, it's
Don't.
just-
Mexican drug cartel.
Wait, if you ever want to be reminded that video games have not desensitized you, then feel free to go look at that stuff.
Well, like that.
Turns out games haven't done shit to you.
like actual like rank you inhumanity and like just
When we were talking about that horse, the horse tauntaun woman the other day, and everyone looked at her and were like, "Oh my god." The whole office like universally rejected.
I didn't see it. I didn't
googled it because I didn't know. I didn't put two and two
Google
together based on what you guys were saying on Twitter because you weren't given the full picture.
For obvious reasons.
The place I ended up, thankfully, blurred out everything but the lady's face. And
Yeah,
I got
that was bad enough.
I got enough context from that I was like, all right,
There
done.
were a lot of different colors in the
thanks.
blurs.
Yep.
Guys.
Schoolgirls seems pretty cool.
You're welcome, Peter Bartholow.
You know, those poor developers are like, oh, hey, go listen to the John Baumcast.
Around 146, they start talking. Oh no! Don't.
The interesting thing about Skullgirls for me
Skip the next 15 minutes.
They showed little bits and pieces of
5 stars. It sounds amazing. I really can't wait to see it. You guys did a bang up job.
of some of the training and kind of tutorial stuff.
That stuff seems really interesting.
What is this game?
Placeholder. It's a 2D fighting game.
Okay.